Frankfurt Eagles, how you doing? It's your colleague, your school friend, your schoolmate, your sports buddy, Otis Pate, coming in for another landing. I just wanted to chime in with everybody and well, give everyone an update concerning our all-class reunion that we have scheduled for 2015. You know, everything is in development stages, but we have had some fortunate things occur very recently, and well, you know, I'm like itching to share this with everyone. So let me just mention that things are going well as far as arranging everything for the all-class reunion for 2015. And recently I was at the high school with my wife, Lynn, and well, we got some good news. So, well, you know, I'll just let Lynn tell you.
Hi, my name is Lynn. I'm class of 85 Frankfurt alumni, Otis Pate's wife, and we're down here at our old school, which is now a German school called Philipp Holtzmann Schule, and we're snooping around and checking things out. And I just went to the principal's office and talked to the vice principal about us having our reunion here at the school next year, and he was very helpful. He gave me his A lot of people said that the Philipp Holtzmann Schule, the old Frankfurt American high school, was going to close soon, and I asked Herr Lischke, the assistant principal, if that was true, and he told me that it would be at least 5 or 6 years that it will close, and it would depend on the university if they're gonna take over the school and build them another school. Because if you were here, you would see that all the surrounding area of our school has totally changed. Everything's university now, and yeah, so it's good to know that this school will still exist for at least 5 more years. It's all up in the air. It's always a money thing, you know. So I want to show you the card one more time. And I talked to Herr Lischke, and he's very excited about us coming here, and wants me to keep in contact with him, let him know how many people are coming, if we need the theater or the old gym, what we will need. And so once we have all that together and know how many of you guys are actually really coming, then we can celebrate in our old school. And I think that's really, really cool, because maybe 5, 6 years from now that won't be an option anymore. So that wraps it up for me. Can't wait to see you guys. Hope you come here, and it's not as expensive as you would think. See you later. Bye.
So what you think about that? Now that's some egotistics for you right there. Very, very, very good news for me, knowing that we're gonna be having the theater. Right now it's probably about 95% for sure, because as my wife mentioned, we have had a brief discussion with the vice principal from the Philipp Holtzmann Schule, our former high school location. And not only have they given us the green light, the okay light to have our party inside of the theater at the school, which I believe is still across the hall from the entrance to the cafeteria, at least in 1985 when I graduated. the theater was across the hall from the cafeteria, and we will, by the way, be getting a tour of the theater, and I will get the theater on camera for everyone. Now, with that in mind, the thing that I should mention is that we're also going to be having dinner on the night of our party, before the party. So our dinner will be held in Sachsenhausen, because if you recall from update 2 that I shared with everyone as far as the developments being concerned, update 2, I had mentioned to you all for your scrutiny about us having a German menu for our dinner, a German themed menu. And in that video, update 2, I had talked about the dinner being at the school, in a hotel that the Eagles are staying in when they arrive, or somewhere else. Well, right now, that somewhere else seems to be a Sachsenhausen restaurant that I have in mind, that's been around for quite some time. It's been around since the 1800s, like 1831, I believe. A very historical place with exquisite German food, if you may. No disrespect to all the Germans who don't think that's the proper way to describe German food, by the way. But that's how I feel about it, because they've been there at this location so long in Old Sachsenhausen, Alte Sachsenhausen, and well, I recommend that place. Outside of that place, and you'll get these names and all these things as the developments unravel. Let me mention also information about the Eagle mosaic that was in the Frankfurt American High School. The very artsy Eagle mosaic that was from 1963. The mosaic even had 1963 underneath it, underneath the design. There's been a lot of people on Facebook talking about this mosaic. And I have to say that I walked all throughout the school and I did not see this mosaic anywhere. But that does not mean that the mosaic is not there and has not been moved somewhere else or whatever. When we go back up to the high school in April and have this walkthrough with the vice principal, the vice president from the Philipp Holzmann Schule, then I will be sure to ask him about that eagle mosaic that so many Eagles have been concerned about. As Lynn had mentioned in the video too, the high school will not be closing anytime in the next couple of years. The vice principal told us, as my wife had mentioned, that the school will at least be there for the next 5 to 6 years. So to me, that's great news, considering this is 2014, March 2014, by the way. And so that means that the high school will still be there in its current form until at least 2020, and perhaps even 2021. So in between that time, for the Eagles who might not be able to make it to the all-class reunion 2015, if you are able to come afterwards or whatever, you might want to keep in mind that the school might not be there as we know it presently, which has some remembrance of the old days. It might not be there any longer after 2020 or 2021. My wife had mentioned that the trip over here is not as much as you might think. And because this is the third update concerning our all-class reunion for 2015 here in Germany, I just wanted to mention one more time the price that I'm able to give the Eagles, and as far as I'm concerned, it's a great price, of $1,200 for 5 nights in a 4-star hotel, including breakfast, as well as round-trip airfare, a round-trip air flight from wherever your location may be in the United States, all for $1,200. Again, it might be a good idea, if you're not familiar with the things that I'm just touching on at the moment, to check with Update 2 in order to get more details concerning that information. But the thing I wanted to tell everyone, and that $1,200 is give or take $100, because as you know, in Germany, just like back in the days when we had the Deutschmark and the dollar, the euro and the dollar, the currency rate fluctuates. So that's why I say give or take $100, as well as it depends on the season that we come over, that the Eagles come over to Germany and things like that. Again, all of that information is in Update 2. Update 2, and I really was as meticulous as I could be concerning this information. So if you're not familiar, just go to Update 2 and it's all there. But the current euro to dollar rate at currency outlets here in Frankfurt is about, what is it? Well, I can say that since my wife works at the airport, she's an international currency exchanger there at the airport, she told me just, 2 days ago that she bought $1,000 from an American customer at her job, and that $1,000 yielded 640 euro, and that was the final sum after taxes were taken out and after the charge for the fee for commission and all that stuff that every business is going to take out of the exchange, the currency exchange. Whatever business you go to, it's going to be some taxes and it's going to be a commission. So that's quite substantial. $1,000 is about 640 euro at the current mark mark rate, huh? Yeah, that sounds good. The current. So I don't think that euro rate, although I hope that it does for the Eagles, I hope that it does get better in between now and the time it is for us to get the flights and all that type of stuff booked and the hotels paid for and all this type of stuff. By the time it's time for the Eagles to seriously start preparing to come over, I hope the euro rate I hope the euro to dollar rate is much better for you. But at least in between now and then, there's enough time, because of the Eagles sounding off with the vote of wanting the all-class reunion to be in 2015 and not in 2014. So that's on everybody's side right there, Well, Eagles, I'm getting ready to get on out of here, but I wanted to ask everybody to join me for the next upload, for the next video, because I was able to get my own little time, my own little private space, get in my own little world, and walk around Frankfurt American High School. I was able to walk around upstairs and downstairs in the hallway and capture a lot of footage. So join me for the next video so you can see that, because I took my time for y'all, and well, the school is something else. That school holds over 2,000 students at one particular time. I know on the pictures might look very small, or excuse me, the school might look very small on the pictures, but believe me, when you're inside that school now, the way they have it constructed, you could get lost in there. Really, I felt lost a couple times. I had to look out the windows to check my bearings and my location when I was in the school. But anyway, that's all from me. And thank you for joining me. And if you have any questions, just leave the questions under the video, or you can email me at frankfurtalumnivideos@gmail.com. That's right. And of course, you can contact me through YouTube. Send me a message through YouTube. Don't just leave a comment. I mean, comments are great, but in order for me to get the message for sure, please message me through YouTube. You know, that will pretty much guarantee that I will get the message, and so I can answer any questions that you may have, any concerns or whatever. Okay, so this is your brother, your alumni Eagle classmate. I'm out of here, and join me next video, because I got a little something special. All right, peace.